Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen and another episode of Just What the Doctor Ordered. Today I have an amazing recipe. It's actually raw energy bites, and this would be the perfect recipe for several things. One, this would be great to take to work, like for a snack or a midday pick-me-up. If you have kids, this would be a perfect thing you could pack in their lunch, or if they play sports, they could take it with them and it'd be a great snack before their practices. And then this would also be perfect too if you have a sweet tooth. There's just enough sweetness in this recipe that it could satisfy like a cookie craving too. And I know growing up, like I was thinking about this recipe, and one of my favorite recipes to make was no-bake cookies. And I liked it because it's something easy that I could make as a kid. And be it, I just remember the ingredients in the no-bake cookies. I mean, you had the nasty peanut butter with all the sugar, all the hydrogenated oils. You had the sugar, and then it just wasn't good, and just oatmeal. And so this is a much better version. They're raw, they're not cooked, and it's loaded with superfoods. And so the first ingredient we're gonna put in is a cup of shredded coconut, finely shredded coconut. And the key thing with the coconut is that this is unsweetened coconut. You don't want to go to the grocery store and get sweetened coconut because that has high fructose corn syrup. So it's unsweetened shredded coconut, 1 cup. And coconut's great. It's high in fiber. It's high in medium chain fatty acids, which actually help give you energy. They boost your metabolism. They help with fat burning. And it's also good, any type of coconut product, whether it be shredded coconut or coconut oil. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial. So it's really good for bowel health too. And so you got 1 cup of the shredded coconut. The next ingredient we're going to be putting in is 1 cup of almond butter. And same thing with almond butter. A big thing to make sure is that it is raw almond butter, unsalted. You don't want to buy almond butter that's roasted. You want to make sure it's raw. And we're just going to put 1 cup of almond butter in there. And with the almond butter, almonds are high in protein. They're high in great, sources of healthy fats. And then they're also very good for weight loss, in moderation. So this is an energy bar, but it also is really good for weight loss too. So we got our 1 cup of almond butter. Our next thing we're putting in is 3/4 a cup of raisins. And the raisins, or you could use craisins, but the dried cranberries, it's really hard to find a brand that doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup, and all of them have some form of sugar. So I just typically will use raisins. I'll put a little bit of the cranberries in just for an extra flavor. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup of the raisins. And then I'll put about 1/4 of the cup of the dried cranberries in too. You could also use dried blueberries, any type of dried fruit really, but just make sure you read what's in the package, because you'll find a lot of them have the high fructose corn syrup that you really want to try to avoid with that too. And then the next thing we're going to put in is a 1/2 cup. The recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of raw honey. And you could use raw honey. I happen to be out of raw honey at home. So what I did is I took dates. And dates are a great natural sweetener. And they're high in fiber. They're low in glycemic load, so they won't raise your blood sugar up. And they're also really high in magnesium. And so I took 10 dates, and I put them in my Vitamix or a heavy duty blender. And then I put like 1/4 a cup, maybe a little bit more of hot water. And I just blended it up, and it makes like a date paste. And so this is good to sweeten things with. You can make cookies with it. And so it's about a 1/2 cup total of either the honey, or this is like the date paste. So this is where these raw energy bites are gonna get their sweetness from. So it's much better than my original, no-bake cookies I used to make when I was younger. I think that recipe called for a whole cup of sugar. So this is a much better option, and sweetens it, but then you also get the benefits of the dates too. Perfect. And then our last few ingredients we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. So this is a really good thing for this recipe because it does have some of the natural sweeteners. So the cinnamon actually will help to balance out the sugar in the recipe, and cinnamon is great for lowering your blood sugar. And so if you are a diabetic or you have high blood sugar, cinnamon is one of the best things for you. And you put a whole tablespoon of cinnamon in this recipe. It's also good for digestive health. It's good for circulation. I put smoothies in I put cinnamon in all my smoothies just because it's just a great thing to have in, or an herb to add to anything. And then we do a half a teaspoon of sea salt. Half a teaspoon of sea salt. And then this is where a lot of your energy comes from, these raw energy bites. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Chia seeds are amazing, and I know a lot of people don't really know about chia seeds. We know about flax seeds, but chia seeds actually have more omega-3s than flax seeds. And so we're putting 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in. I'm gonna put maybe like 2.5 in there, just because this is so good for you. And they're also really good for, they have high in energy, they're high in iron and high in omega-3s. And then you're also gonna put 1 tablespoon of flax seeds in there. You wanna make sure you grind them up, so you'll use like the flaxseed meal, 1 tablespoon of the flax seeds in there too. And then the last 2 things we'll add in is 2 tablespoons of protein powder. And the protein powder that I'm using, our Maximize Living protein powder, you could use vanilla in this recipe, or you could use chocolate. It's gonna completely change the flavor of your energy bites. If you like chocolate, use chocolate. That's what I'm using, but the vanilla would also be very good too. So I'd say about 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna use the scoop that's in there and throw that scoop of protein powder in there. And then the last thing you can also add in is just a variation. I'm gonna use cocoa nibs. And cocoa nibs is like one of the rawest forms of the cocoa plant, and super high in antioxidants. Raw cocoa powder, it ranks, as one of the highest in antioxidants. And this doesn't have any sugar in it. It's just right from the cocoa plant. So you see, they almost look like chocolate chips, but they're not really that sweet, but they do give it that chocolate flavor. And I'm gonna put about 1.5 tablespoons of the coconut nibs in there. Okay, and then we're gonna blend it together in the blender, just till it's all bound up. And then what we'll do as that's mixing, you're gonna form these into balls, and then I'm gonna roll them, and I just took some almonds and I blended them up in like a, Vitamix or Cuisinart, and just made some almond meal. And I'm gonna roll them in this. You could also use the coconut. If you really like coconut, you could also roll them in the coconut too. Okay, good. So you see this looks pretty sticky. So, good. Just gonna leave that there. And then we're gonna form them into balls, roll them into this, and then I'm just gonna put them on the parchment paper so it doesn't stick. And then ideally, it'd be good to refrigerate this for at least 12 hours before you eat them. And when you're refrigerating them, they'll last a good week or 2 in the refrigerator. But you could also put them in the freezer and freeze them, and then you could have them anytime you wanted. When they're frozen, I'm sure then you could throw them in the lunches. You could take them to work with you. You're just gonna roll them in the almond flour, just like that. Form them into balls, just like that, like little bite-sized energy bites, and you'll put them on there. So I'm gonna make a few of them. And when you're watching this recipe, if you want to, we just actually on our Facebook page, if you go to Facebook and you can search Advanced Spinal Health and Wellness, or if you go to our website, which is maximizelivingbdrbenson.com, and you click on the Facebook link, we're actually doing an amazing thing now, is that anybody that comments on some of our posts or likes our page, you can actually get entered in to win a free monthly product. So you could win the protein powder, you could win the daily detox, the omega oil, and we're giving one away every single month. And so just stay plugged in. And that Facebook page is also really good because we keep you informed of all of our events that we have coming up. So this Monday night, we have our movie night. We still have room if anybody wants to come last minute, date night with you and your spouse. And then we have our Patient Appreciation Day coming up Wednesday, April 24th. And at that Patient Appreciation Day, it's a great day. It's dedicated to checking kids, especially kids that may have autism, ADD. We've been able to help a lot of children that fall, into that spectrum in our office. And then also just checking your kids in general. And we're going to have actually chair massages for all of our patients that day that want to take them. And we'll be doing aromatherapy or essential oil hand massages. And we'll do discounts on all of our products that day in the office too. So that's a great day coming up. And like I said, all those things will be linked on the Facebook page. And so, you want to make sure you visit that. Okay, this is the last one I'll make. Good. I can't wait till these actually get cool and I can eat them. They look so good. All right, so I hope you try the raw energy bites. They'll be one of your favorite recipes for your kids. And like you see, you made the whole recipe, this maybe took 5 minutes. So this would be something easy that you can show your kids how to make. And as soon as you get all the ingredients, you can make this stuff in no time. So thank you for watching another episode of Just What the Doctor Ordered. Have a great day.